This
Like
conference will now be recorded.
before asking Anita, like you're sure we had started recording, right?
Yes, 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 for sure, for sure. Okay, I will check with her.
Okay. So what happens now? Also, I have not started. Just now, I started recording.
Yeah, yeah, but we did record it. Yeah, but sometimes it lost. Even for the PE session, I lost some videos. I don't know why.
Okay. So most of the times we done the recording. I think there
Yes,
are one.
yeah, even yeah, for another course, I don't know. Like we recorded, like and then and she couldn't find. I don't know sometimes, but I know sometimes it's like the recording issue. Like yeah.
The thing is, right now we are not having the regular classes, right? So I think they need to check it and like they should be uh, sending you. So that may be the issue.
Okay, okay, I will follow up that. Okay,
Again,
anyway.
side effect expires, right? So that may be the problem. So they need to do this before expiring that ID. So do you remember on which date
Uh,
is that recording? Even I'll also check if possible.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, maybe because of that. You are right. You are right. Yeah, maybe I will remind her to get
I'm
the
asking
recording.
the date
Uh,
actually. Remember the date, like what time we have, what time we have.
uh, yes, yes. It's like September 19.
Okay, okay. Saturday we didn't add. Sunday we are not added.
Actually, just give me one moment to be sure. Because I have everything. I have all the things like uh, yeah, it's 19.
Okay,
19.
fine,
Mm,
fine. Then we'll check that.
yeah, sure.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, fine. So we'll be there is a thing that inter-thread communication. So what is this inter-thread communication is, for example, when you have a class, so when you want to communicate between two classes, what you do? You have a class A and class B. So communication between two classes is nothing but you will be creating that class object in another class. For example, you have a class A and you have M1 method in that class A, and you want to call that M1 method from a class B. So what you do, you create that object of A in class B and you call that M1 method, right? So this is nothing but you are communicating between classes. So the same way you do communication between your threads, right? So but here it is not like you create the thread object, you call that run method, because this is internally the thread object creation, like thread object you will be creating it, but calling a run method is not your guarantee, right? You call the start method, the start method call the run method. So the communication of your thread will be obviously taken care by again your internally, right? Here for that for do this inter-thread communication, what you have some predefined methods the Java people has given. So that are nothing but your wait, notify all. These are the three methods that they have given on your for this inter-thread communication. I think I told this example but I don't remember it. So you
Inter-thread.
understand? Yes,
Interesting. Interesting.
yes. I think you understood what you got, what I'm telling, right? So what is this inter-thread communication? Like when you want to communicate between your one thread to another thread, you may get down. So if you see sleep or join, so what happens? One thread goes to the waiting state and one thread will be called, right? So, but you don't guarantee, right, which thread is going to call, and you don't have that authority, right? So in this case, what you want some thread to be executed or after some other thread. So for example, a simple example. is, for example, when you play any game in mobile or something, when you do any kind of thing, like whatever you see, assume it is nothing but a threading, right? So when you do play any game, when you see a lot of things, right? So when you are seeing a lot of things, so everything, assume it is nothing but your thread, right? So when that thread is executing is when the other thread gets completed, right? So for example, when you play a game, you see trees, you see some kind of for example, like Game of Thrones, some temple run or something else, when you're playing a temple run. So when you see that home or some house, so when that you are going to see is nothing but when you completed some 100 meters or when you completed some 500 meters, right? So it is nothing but, so one thread is completed, the other thread is executing. Is it like you can able to understand it, right?
Yes, like one thread end, another thread start.
Yes, yes. So so that is nothing but your communication, right? So when the other thread has to start, it may be completed or not, but you have some hundreds of threads, right? So when some thread has to be executed, so that like this thread will communicate to another thread, and in that way that thread gets executed. So you may get more clarity on this by taking this example. I'll just try to take this. Assume that you have some bank. So this bank is an object for me. So this is an object for me. So it's maybe the silly example. It will not be the real scenario, but I'm trying to explain you to understand that. So you have some threads. What is nothing but two threads, T1 and T2. Some threads or some other thread is there. Assume it this person. This is nothing but, assume it this is nothing but one person. This thread one is nothing but one person. So person one, right? So assume it there is no ATM facilities or something is there, and in this bank he has an account, and what he want is nothing but he want to verify that there is an amount credited into his account or not. So for that, what happens? This thread will always act on this bank, and it is going to check it, right? So every time it is going to act on this bank and check whether the amount got created or not. But so assume it has not been created. So it is waste of time for this thread to go and check for every time, right? So instead of that, instead of checking this thread for every time, what happens? We can have a scenario. We can do one thing, right? So instead of this thread checking every time on a bank whether the amount got created or not, it's time waste process for that, right? So in that, so to avoid that case, what this can do is we can have one more thread or one more thing at the bank end. So this is nothing but a thread that is present over here. So instead of having this two T2 here, I'm having this T2 here. So I cannot able to remove it, fine. So assume it you have some T2 here at this end, and what happens whenever the amount got credited itself, so what this thread will be doing is nothing but it is going to do notify this thread that amount got created. So this T2 will also act on this object, right? So here you have T1 and T2. So assume T2 is some person or some clerk. So this person is acting on this bank, and once there was amount got created, what happens? This will be doing notify. So until doing that notify, what happens? This thread will be in a waiting state, right? So you understanding that terminology, right? Instead of acting this 3-1 acting on this bank object, what it will do, initially this will be in a waiting state. So until what time it will be in a waiting state? Until it gets notified. Once there is a notify got acted, once any thread said notify on this object, what happens? This thread which is in the waiting state, okay, understands, okay, there is some notification for me, and at that time it will come out of the waiting state and it will start communicating with this bank object. It will act on this bank object, right? So until unless it will be in that sleep state only or waiting state. So when that thread will act on this object whenever it gets notified. So whenever T2 do notify on this bank object, this T2 will be communicating it. So by calling what method? But generally it will be in a waiting state. So first it will be in a waiting state, and whenever there is a notify on this object, what happens? The thread which is in a waiting state will come and act on this. So this is nothing but you are communicating. There is a communication between your thread 1 and thread 2. So thread 2 is in, sorry, thread 1 is in waiting state until what happens? Until thread 2 do notification. So whenever the thread 2 do notification only, a thread 1 will come and act on that object. Right?
I have one question. Like T2 here, thread 2 is notified by the bank.
So it will be notified on the object, right? So
On the object is the bank here, right?
yes, object is a bank. So here
So
it will know our account or bank. You can take anything. You can write account or anything. Right?
Okay. So here, or like here means bank will notify thread 2, right? Bank is notified thread 2.
It is not like bank notifies. What happens? You can assume it. So for example, your thread 2 will be in a waiting state, right? So once there is any notification called on a bank object, your thread 2 will come. So object is nothing going to do. So what happens? Assume it may be the observing or something, right? So once the notification comes to the object, your thread 2 will come to the your thread 1 will come out of the waiting state and act on it. So again, don't assume it. Your bank will send out something to that. So
because here the question is basically here the question is where is the notification come from?
So the thread 2 will
it's from thread 1 or it's from somewhere else?
We do that on object. The point is here you have wait, notify all or on an object class, not on your, right? So what happens? This T2 will go to the waiting state what? By calling wait method on this particular object. I'll show, then I'll show the code, then you get more clarity, but I'm telling you, try to understand. This is going to go to the waiting state by calling wait method on the bank object, right? So it will call a wait method on a bank object, something like T1 dot wait method it is going to call. So you generally not say T1 or something. The thread will be calling the wait method on this object and it will go to the waiting state, right? So whenever there is a notification comes, so what happens? T2 will also call notify on this object. So what happens? T1 is calling wait method on this object and going to the waiting state. So what happens when T2 is calling notify on this object? Then what happens? Whenever T2 calls notify on this object, the threads which are waiting will be come out of the waiting state and execute on. So you have notify and notify all, right? So for example, when I call notify, only T2 will come. Assume it T2, you take, instead of taking this T2, you can take this as T3 also. So when you take it as T3, I'm not trying to confuse you, don't worry. So when you have T3, so assume that before I said T2, here assume it your T2 also in a waiting state. So your T1 and T2 will call wait method on this object and will go to the waiting state, right? So here whenever your T3 calls notify, what happens? A particular thread. So for example, I'm calling notify on which object? I'm calling on a bank object. So the thread which called wait method and went to the waiting state will come out of the waiting state whenever there is a notify called on that object. So who is getting called that notify? Some other thread is calling notify on the bank object. So when you see the code, you get more clarity. So I'm telling you that. If I say here instead of notify, I have a method called notify all. So when I say notify all, all the threads which are waiting which went to the waiting state, I can say in that sense. So whenever I call a notify method, what happens on a particular bank object? So the thread which went to the waiting state by calling the wait method on that particular object will come out of the waiting state. Is it confusing or okay?
Notified, when notify is called, the other thread will be go to waiting state. But when notified on called, all the other thread will be right.
Not go to waiting state. So you understand the requirement. So the requirement here is, so you try to compare with the scenario, you get more understanding. So the scenario is, this thread one is, assume it is a person, right? So a bank, you have an account. So this person, X person, has an account in this bank, right? So this some Y person have an account in this bank, right?
Yes.
So what happens? They want to check whether they got information, some amount is going to credit in that account, right? Assuming there is no messaging or no messaging service or something like that. So generally they want to know that information, whether the account has been created or not. What they do? So every day they are going to the bank and checking whether their money got credited or not. So it is a waste of time, right? So every day going and checking is useless for thread 1 and thread 2. So instead of that, assume it there is some clerk or some other person which is present at the bank end, right? So what they told is nothing but whenever there is an amount credited for this person, assume it for this person, they will say notify method. So they will not say on this thread or something. Again, they will say this notify on this object, right? So I am trying to compare that. It is not the exact real scenario, but I am trying to compare it and tell you. So whenever this clerk or something notify means something, a message kind of thing, they say that okay, bank amount got credited. So don't assume it, this is T3 is going to tell to this T1. No, that is not the case. So here in programmatical way, so your T3 will call and notify on this object. So why I'm telling in that way is nothing but to understand the concept, the real concept. So you don't think that your T3 will tell notify on this T1. No, your T3 will call notify on this object. Then what happens? This person which is in waiting state will come out of the waiting state and it will take the money. Assume it. So it is going to act on this object, right? So your T1 will go to the waiting state. How it is going to waiting state? It is calling wait method and going to the wait state. So for example, when you have a sleep method or what happens, and if they want to go to the sleep method or a join method, what you do? You are calling that on a particular thread actually. The point here is nothing but don't your wait notify all are not present in the thread class. They are present in the object class, right? That's the difference. So for example, when you call it a sleep method or when you call on a join method, your your yield method, where you are calling that on a particular thread, right? So what you do, you see you call by thread dot sleep. So it is you are calling on a thread. Here you are not calling on a thread. The difference is you are calling an object, right? So and you call that an object and that thread will go to the waiting state. So once I show the code, you get this more clear picture of this.
Yes.
So
So
the thread,
basically, when the thread call the T3 call notified on the bank object, and the T1 and the T2 will become in waiting state, right?
will come out of the waiting state, will come out of the waiting state and will act on that object.
Sorry, will come out. So
Okay.
so basically when the T3 call notified on the bank object, and T1 and T2 will come out to from waiting, right?
No, whenever it call notify all the threads will come.
No.
Notify all.
There are two. One is notify. One is notify. Oh, okay, I see. They are notify and notify. There are two. Wake up a single thread. Oh, okay. And notify the all is wake up all threads.
Yes, you can read that slide. That makes more clear.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. But okay. So for the notified, you know which one it will automatically like assign. Because let's say, for example, this example, the T3 call notified on bank object is T1 or T2. Which one will be like come out from waiting state and act on the object? When if it's a notified, if it is a notified, like basically, how about the priority? Like or it, we don't care, right? It can be randomly.
No. So once you see the code, that you get a clarity. The thing,
Okay.
nothing but here this will be related actually. So when you see how you call notify, when you see how you are calling wait state and how you are calling notify, when you see the code, you don't get that doubt. Which one will come? So I'll show the
Okay.
code, then you understand which one will come. You'll never get that doubt, right? So the thing is, multi-threading is something like straightforward, not exactly straightforward. So to comparison to things, it is little difficult. So when I teach multi-thread, when I even learning it, so it is really something I feel difficulty to make you understand whatever there in my mind. For other topics, it is easy mind. I feel from my end actually. So assumptions are more actually here. So I have something in my mind. So so sometimes it may be some misguiding or misdeviation happens, I feel, in multi-threading. So it is like little tricky compared to other topics.
Yes, like being, yeah, because yeah, it's
Eh,
I mean it's fine, like because this one is not it's like more, I think it's more like advanced topic compared to other the rest.
okay, others in the sense.
Compared to other like a topic in Java, I mean.
Okay, you feel multi-threading is, it's like little bit best.
It's not that easy. Yeah, it's like there are many things you.
Okay. So once you see the code, you don't get that. Fine. So the concept is, your thread one will go to the waiting state by calling wait method on this object. And whenever there is a notify method on this object gets called, it will come out of that waiting state. So if you want, you can read that slide. So that makes more clarity for you. Just you take 1 minute and read it.
Yes.
I'll just keep the charging meanwhile.
Okay. Yes. I got more clear.
Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if you see, I think you got through the slide, right? You're clear with that, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I'm clear. Yes.
So you make this point. So whenever it is going, a thread is acting on an object, whenever it is going to the waiting state, what it will do before going to the waiting state, it will release that lock because other threads want to use it. So the thing is, your wait notify all, you call it on only synchronized methods, on a synchronized area only. You cannot call it on normal things. Without synchronization, you will get an error. You got my point?
Yes.
So you call this wait notify all on a synchronized area only. So that's the reason you can see that point when they are telling you about the wait method. So that will go to the waiting state by releasing the lock. So it means other threads can use it and wait until the another thread invokes the notify or notify all method for this object. So whenever there is a other threads will call wait notify on that particular object, then it will come out of the waiting state. So that also points this 2 points also. So hope you are clear. So if you see this example, so assume it there is no synchronization here. I'm commenting this part, Mike. Don't worry about synchronization first. Afterwards, I'll uncomment that. So don't worry about wait notify. I have uncomment whatever the things that I commented. Don't worry. Don't look at to that. I'll get the clarity and we'll see that. Is it clear, right? What I wrote. So, so I'll explain it even fact. So here, what happens? I have a total value. Assuming there is some total number, right? I have two threads. One is my class A is one my thread. So like this is my child thread. So where you do not have main method, and you have main thread where you have a main method, right? So what you are doing in the main thread, you are trying to print some total value, right? So where this total value is from your child thread. So in the child thread, you have a variable called total. So you have a variable called total and you initialize with 0 and you are performing some operation, right? Some iterating that variable 50 times and you're storing some value in that total. So after completing this operation, you are trying to print that. Your requirement is nothing but you want to, the name is indicating, right, the total volume. So you don't want to print that 0 value in the child, in the main thread. What you want, you have main thread and child thread. So in this child thread, you have some activity, some increment or some variable, some action is going on. So when, after completing that value increment, after completing that action, total action, it means after completing that total 50 times of iteration only, you want to print that total value in your what case, in your main method, right? In main method means in the main thread. So there is some activity in child thread. After completing that only, you want to print your main thread. So but here you don't guarantee that, right? So your requirement is this, right? So when I do this, you know how I'm doing. I created a object and I'm just I called a dot start method. So when I call a start method, it will go to the run method of this. So so it will go to the run method of this and it will start executing, right? So once it completes this, what I want to print this particular piece of code. So this is the requirement you have. So you are printing it. So here you don't guarantee the total value will be the complete output, right? So it may be 0 or it may be intermediate value. It may be anything because this is a multi-threading, right? So you don't guarantee that your total value comes at the first, right? So your total value comes after completing this operation. you don't guarantee that will happen. So there may be any chance. So the chance is nothing but your total value may come in the first, or it may be come in the intermediate value. So for example, what is the your output is? So once I run this code, and I'm printing this total value. This.
Suya?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, because I have another session with Kuma, so
Okay, you want me to stop here?
yeah, can we like wrap here?
Yes.
And now you are still on the release, right? We cannot take class on the basically
No. So from tomorrow, if possible, I'll take the classes, some 3 or 4 classes, and we'll.
So it's already your release is done.
No, it was not done, but I have some time. So mostly we'll have that. So it is, as I told you, right? So it is not now. It is on next month actually. So, but I'll try to make some time, and we'll.
I mean, it's no for me. There is no issue for like if you are busy, we can keep like this.
No.
There is,
No. Getting pending,
if you
right?
want,
So,
yeah. But
okay.
if you want to finish date earlier, I have time. I have no issue with
So
that.
tomorrow, and you will. So we'll try to connect.
Yes.
The
I was busy like this week, but I was in actually yeah, next week I will have some time. Yes. So
Okay,
if you
fine.
want, yeah.
Yes.
If we can have it tomorrow.
Yes. So what we can do, we can have it at 11 EST, 11 a.m.
11.
EST.
Tomorrow. Yes. Okay. No issue for me.
So 10 or 11, anything is fine for you, right?
Yeah. Let's take 11 if it's better for you.
Yes, fine. So if any urgency, will so even that not guarantee, but at least we'll try to have 3 classes in it.
Yes. Okay, sure.
Oh, okay, Mark, fine.
Okay, thank you very much, Suya. Yeah. Hello?
You are saying something, Mike?
Yeah, just for that Derby thing, please please
Yes.
like please please take a look, just like so
First,
when you have chance. Yeah. Okay.
But
And
even you
we will.
from your end.
Yeah. We can connect tomorrow 11 a.m. Yes.
Okay. I'm talking about the DB also. Even you try from your end also. Even I'll check it out.
Yeah. Sure. I will also do it. Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Have a good night.
Okay, Mike.
Bye for now.
Bye.